weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be going through Batman Superman World's Finest, number 14. Most fans of DC Comics can see that Mark Waid's Batman Superman World's Finest is one of, if not the best book coming out each and every month. Mark Waid gets the characters. There are a ton of cool guest stars, and most importantly, the book is just fun to read. Oh yeah, it also has Dan Mora, one of the best artists, killing it in every issue. World's Finest should be the blueprint for every Dawn of DC book going forward, and I can kind of see that happening a bit, which does make me happy. Now that I'm done with being the Flava Flav to Mark Waid's Chuck D, let's jump into the review. But before we do that, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications. Let me know what you think of this issue in the comments below and the run in general. Now, the credits here for Batman Superman World's Finest number 14. It's written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora, colors by Tamara Bonvillain, and letters by Steve Wands. Tamara Bonvillain blocked us, but still great colors. We continue with the mystery of who killed Simon Stagg by opening the issue with what appears to be a pretty steamed Metamorpho, right? He's really steamed here, taking out Doc Dredd. While I don't think this is quite exactly what we think it is at the beginning, I was wondering if the majority of readers will be fully invested in the story. I think Mark Waid might be a bit worried himself, and that's why we ended the last issue with the silly but classic cliffhanger of Bruce Wayne won it for the murder, because I don't know how many newer readers are going to be that fired up to figure out who, in fact, killed Simon Stagg. On the other hand, older readers are those who love DC Silver Age stuff. But really, they have to be loving this. I'm loving it. Mark Waid does slow things down a bit, though, in my opinion, with an over-explanation of why Clark and Jimmy have accused Bruce for the murder. It makes sense, but it's one of those times that feels like the writer wants to show how clever they are and how big and crazy their understanding of comics is. It just doesn't play out as cool on the page and kind of slows things down a bit. However, it does allow for a Robin-Superman team-up, which is always awesome. And speaking of which, if you like that sort of thing, I suggest you read the two-part Night of the Bat story by Dan Jurgens from back in the day. It was in Superman, the Man of Steel number 14 and Superman number 70, and has Tim Drake Robin teaming up with Superman for the first time to kill vampires, one of Eric Shea's, America's Sweetheart, on our DC Comics podcast. It's one of his favorite stories of all time, and I think it's pretty cool too, and I suggest that. Well, though, Bruce demands that Rex Mason is innocent in all of this, Supes and Dick Grayson head off to track him down, see what is going on with him, while Bruce gets a very sus call from Oliver Queen. And I love that Bruce realizes that Oliver is not actually himself, because Oliver doesn't annoy Bruce as much as he usually does. It's one of those things like, I got a regular call from Oliver, and I really didn't get angry at the end, so I don't think that that's quite Oliver. He even confirms it with Superman, who then pretty much says, yeah, that doesn't sound like the annoying Oliver that we know. The whole things are not what they seem, though. Continues when Bruce does his detective work, and he finds out that most of the world's billionaires, including Ted Kord, have been seemingly replaced with imposters. After Bruce also figures out that Simon Stagg's murdered body is actually a dupe, they pretty much narrow this whole thing down to two suspects. Now, here we go. Here is the lineup. Professor Ivo, the creator of the android villain Amazo, or Dr. Magnus, creator of the Metal Men. I wonder which one is the real bad guy. Well, Superman and Robin, they break off and figure out pretty quickly that Ivo is their man. But the highlight of the issue for me is Metamorpho and Batman going off to try to find Dr. Magnus. And you end up having Rex just tell Bruce how annoying the Metal Men's Mercury is. And I'm telling you, it's true. 100% facts. If you have read even a couple of the Metal Men issues, you know that Mercury just won't shut up about being the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. That's all he's got, and he will keep going with it. And I laughed out loud more than I have in a long time at Rex throwing shade at Mercury. So I actually want to thank Mark Waid for just that. Unfortunately, the Metal Men, though, they're in a sad state right now. And Ivo shows that he's been working on an upgrade that I don't think Superman's going to find so amazing, right? That really didn't work. I thought that joke would work, but it really didn't. Do I have to tell you how great the art is? Yeah, I think I do. It is amazing. The whole deal just looks fantastic, and the colors by Tamara Bonvillain are great. And yeah, I said it already. She blocked us on Twitter, but she can't block those popping colors from my eyes. Does a great job. Mark Waid is writing a story for fans of a lot of characters here that don't get much of a spotlight these days, and I'm loving it. I really, really love this story, and I love the idea that he keeps bringing in a bit of obscure side characters as guest stars and give them a little bit of a, spotlight. Sure, the pacing is a bit off at the beginning of the issue, but by the end, I was totally hyped to see what happens next. Plus, we get legit shade thrown at Mercury, and I am always there for that. So with all of that, I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. I really had some fun with it, and I think still it is the best book that is coming out each and every month from DC Comics. I didn't see it coming. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming when Mark Waid came back over to DC. He has gotten his groove back big time, and it only makes me excited for what is coming next to Shazam, Dawn of DC book, and then the World's Finest Teen Titans book, and even his Black Label, The Last Days of Lex Luthor, I believe it is. I can't wait. I'll read everything that he's doing, at least at DC for now. So with all that, thanks everybody. And as I said earlier, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and really let me know what you thought of this issue, what you think of this arc, and what you think of Mark Waid's stuff overall. So thanks everybody, and I'll talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.